there YouTube, Erin here again. I thought I'd sit down with you for a minute and just kind of let you know what type of keto person I am. There's a lot of different keto people out there, and there's a lot of people practicing different things, and they all work because all bodies are different, all people are made differently, and we all have different hormones and different lifestyles, different stressors, different, day-to-day routines that can totally allow us to do different things. And I think it's just the fairest thing I could do is sit down, have a little conversation, and let you know kind of what it is I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So the type of keto that I'm practicing is probably the most traditional type of keto that you could do. I'm doing about 20 to 25 net carbs per day. I count my carbs based on their net carb amount. I know some people just do straight carb counting, but I do net carbs. So that's one type of keto that I am. The other type of keto is that I don't track my macros. I'm somebody that if I'm going to go into a diet, if I'm going to do anything, it's really going to be a lifestyle. It's just going to be how I'm living. And sitting in a year or 2 years or 5 years and tapping things onto my phone or into my computer, it just doesn't feel sustainable. And I'd rather take the time right now while I'm starting out, while I'm learning everything under the hood of this keto car, to be completely educated and aware of what I'm doing and how it affects different things. That just seems to really work for me. And I did diets in the past in which I was really focused on tracking and how many calories I was eating, and I don't want to be in a state where I am really concerned about that. I don't want it to feel burdensome. So for me, it's not the healthiest option as I go through this process. So I'm definitely in no way, shape, or form knocking anybody that does track their macros. If you can get away with it, if it's working for you, all the more power to you. I just can't. So that's just where I'm at on that subject. So the other thing that I think is important to kind of go over is, as you become keto, you maybe learned about it through different sources. Maybe it was a friend, maybe it was a family member, maybe it was a book, maybe it was another YouTuber, maybe it was on Instagram, maybe you saw a commercial about it or something on TV, maybe you heard a podcast, whatever it was. And for me, I slowly became aware of keto as a diet lifestyle through Bulletproof. And my husband had become very influenced by Dave Asprey and just kind of his podcasts, and so that crept into our day-to-day life. And I don't practice the real true traditional Bulletproof diet. I would say we're pretty close, but that's basically more because of how we eat and have eaten over a longer period of time. True Bulletproof to me is more something that I would end up doing in a maintenance phase, not necessarily something that I would do today. So what I'm doing right now is I am doing Bulletproof coffee in the morning, and I do that 6 days a week. It just works within my schedule. 5 days a week I work, and then one weekend day I have a pretty busy morning, and so the Bulletproof coffee just kind of gets me through that without having to be focused on a meal. And then the other weekend morning I have kind of a small fat-based breakfast, so that works for now. And I'm still having success and losing weight and feeling great on a keto diet, so I have no qualms about that. Some people would consider that if you have your Bulletproof coffee in the morning, you're not in a fasted state, but I've checked my blood sugar, and the Bulletproof coffee has no effect on me. So to me, as long as my insulin isn't rising, I consider myself to be in a fasted state. I know other people define it differently, and that's just where people land on that kind of subject. So I typically will eat my Bulletproof coffee or drink my Bulletproof coffee in the morning, and then I will break my fast sometime around 1, and then have dinner around 6 with my family, and then kind of just be done for the night. So I'm really eating within a 5 to 6 hour window typically. And again, that's working for me. As you go through this, if you're somebody that's doing things and you've defined your terms, this is just how I've defined them. And so I think that's kind of the beauty and the uniqueness of being on a keto diet. So like I said, I do break my fast at 1, and in that meal I'll typically be pretty light. I like to be kind of gentle on my tummy, and I will do kind of more heavier fats, so like cheeses that are heavy in fats, olives, just anything that's kind of got a good amount of fat in it. I'll do that along with a decent amount of protein, and then I really try to limit my carbs. So I like to save my carbs for my evening meal. I think that gives me a lot more freedom when I cook at night. I think that gives me the ability to make an amazing meal that's going to keep me full and kind of fueled throughout the next day. For me, this is just sustainable. So like, it's just where I'm not, one day doing one thing, next day doing another thing. I have a very strict schedule every day. I have 2 children. My husband's keto, and so we eat together. And it's just functional to be able to kind of do everything this way. And so it's really just kind of like the same schedule every single day. And it works. The fact that in our family we have 2 diets, so my kids follow a kind of gluten-free organic diet, and my husband and I are keto. Just being able to have kind of a same schedule every single day just kind of makes everything flow. We also don't eat at restaurants really because, we're on a keto diet, so that presents some challenges, but then we also eat 100% unprocessed and organic, so there are very few restaurants that really fit our criteria, and those restaurants are really expensive. So it's really like high-end, super fancy restaurants, so very rare, or Chipotle, and that's kind of our option. So we don't live near a Chipotle. It would be a half-an-hour drive, and so we really just don't eat out that often. And I'm okay with that. I find that after a stressful day, most of the time, as long as kids are being happy and not needing to be held constantly, I find cooking a dinner at the end of the day to be really relaxing. It gives me a minute within my day to be creative. I don't work in a really particularly creative job, and so I'm somebody that likes to be creative, and so it just gets it out there. And yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing for my day-to-day diet, if you care to know. The other thing I would say that it's important to know is, like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can kind of be keto. You can follow different people, and one of the things that I see often within kind of the keto world is in regards to working out and kind of getting your fitness on, is the interest in like HIIT workouts, so high intensity interval training workouts. I do like a 14-minute HIIT workout a few times a week. I have workout equipment in my basement, and so that allows me to not have to go to the gym, so there's another expense saved. I'm not like anti-gym, but like I live rurally. I live out in the country, and so the closest gyms are like the Anytime gyms, or like the swipe a card, they're open 24-hour type gyms. And the equipment's pretty limited, and you know what, it costs like, I think the enrollment fee is like $100-200, and then for my husband and I, if we were both gonna do it, it would be like $60 to $70 a month. And then in addition to that, those places don't have like childcare or anything, so we'd be going at alternating times and seeing each other less. So just spending and investing the money and putting in workout equipment in my home just felt like a better choice. I know not everybody can do that, and not everybody can go to the gym, but like literally for most of my workouts, I'm doing a lot of like body based, so like jumping and kind of using my own body weight to do various things. So like that really doesn't cost anything. Your body's, it's yours, you have it, you've got it, so you can just use it. So yeah, that's something I think is important to kind of like put it out there and kind of let you know in regards to workouts and what I'm doing. I do probably like 2 to 4 workouts a week. There was a time period where I was like 6 days a week, and like literally my children probably forgot I existed, because I'd come home from working a long day and then I would go right into working out, and then they would basically have to go to bed. So they weren't really seeing me except for at like dinner and bath time and bedtime. And so I couldn't live that way. And so I just had to find a way to kind of incorporate a workout schedule in with the fact that there's a lot of other things that are going on in my life. So the other thing within keto is that there are people that do things called like feed days, or days where they break their ketosis. Right now, I'm not going to break my ketosis. I'm going to stay in a state of ketosis until April 24th or 25th. I just want to be in this state and see how much of a benefit I get until then. And then maybe after that point, I'll incorporate some feed days. But for the most part, I think I'm just going to stay in ketosis until then. So that is the type of keto person I am in full. I think with this video, I think it'd be great to kind of put out there what kind of goals I have, or, you know, what my objective is as I go through this process. And my initial goal was to get into that, you know, I'm 5'2" is how tall I am, and within that range there's like an ideal weight, and so I wanted to just get within that range, and it didn't matter to be high end, the low end, the middle, wherever, you know, I just fall. I wanted to be in that range, and I'm in that now, so I've kind of met that goal. I think now I would like to maybe just get, you know, well settled into that range would be my goal, but I don't really have like an ideal weight. I know that as my body composition changes, my weight would change, so yeah, there's really no ideal weight for me at this point. The other thing for like kind of my goal would be that I just kind of want to really document out what health benefits I'm finding as I'm in ketosis. For me, since I've started, I have gotten to a point where like my hair is like really better than it was. It's definitely like, if you're looking at it right now and you're like, your hair's not that great, it was a lot worse. So we'll just go with that. To the point where I'm like, do I need to get it cut? I should probably get it cut, but like maybe not as much getting cut. So that feels to me like a benefit. And so I just kind of want to sit back and document kind of those changes. And then I think I would like to increase my strength more. I had been working on it, and I got pretty strong a few years ago, just doing a lot of different body weighted workouts. And so I think that's kind of the goal. I did just buy a battle rope for my basement, which is kind of like an intense workout piece of equipment I have, but I'm looking forward to using it. And I also bought a TRX, so that's like the suspension piece. So I'm excited to start incorporating those into my workout. So that's kind of my goals, is to master those two, and then just feel stronger. And then also just see what other changes happen with my body, and just kind of really document that and be kind of aware, and you know, just being not oblivious to it, because I feel like as I've gone through other diets, I've been oblivious, so just not being oblivious would be great. And then maybe there is that pair of pants that is in my closet that I would like to get into again. So those, I would say, are my goals, so that way you know what kind of I'm trying to work towards and what I'm trying to achieve. I think that gives you kind of a better idea of, you know, what my objective is as I go through this process. So yeah, that was kind of what type of keto person I am, what I'm doing, and kind of, you know, how I'm getting benefits from what I'm doing. So if you guys have any, you know, questions or concerns with what I'm doing, or you know, just want different inputs from me that I didn't cover in this video, please feel free to comment below. I'm totally happy to hear from you guys. It kind of makes my day. So yeah, if you are liking what I'm doing, subscribe. That would be great. And I can promise at this point that I will be uploading at least 1 video to 2 videos a week. My schedule is appearing to allow me to do that. I'm going to be starting to do more vlogging videos, and then also I'm setting up to do my first full product review video, so look for that in the future. Until next time, I hope you guys are well. I hope everything is going great, and that you are having the most amazing day. So take care. Bye.